General Protocol Spaces. Banking on Freedom.
It's like I was being
It's
told everyone that I bought the wrong Bitcoin, and
It's the
you
premier
know,
shitcoin. What are you talking about?
it's really frustrating. Literally, just yesterday, I sold everything. I thought, I don't need it anymore. I had to get out of my life. So, watching this price is quite upsetting.
Whether it's true or not, it's still funny.
It's a good day. It's so funny. On my every time I'm just playing Lego with my daughter, and just have my phone to the side, and literally every time I look, it's gone up another $5 or $10.
Yeah, what's up with
We're
that?
not in the bull run though. What's going on? Who's buying? Is that you, Mike? I see you're joining us. Are you buying again? Did Roger Ver find his stash? Yeah, not a bad day.
Not bad. Yeah,
But
I got on and it was up at some ridiculous number, and then, well, not ridiculous, but up at some number, and then I went to shitpost for a little bit, and I came back. It was up another $10. I was like, okay, all right.
it's really insane. But
This
and the
is
thing is it's a great reminder for anyone out there that the race hasn't even begun yet. The
yeah,
things can change. Just like, what's that? 3 days, place 30, now 24. It doesn't have to go up that much more, and all of a sudden we're in the top 20 again. In what? Just 4 days. So nothing's
yeah.
settled.
I'm not
Not
really
even close.
a believer in the whole market cap thing, but in the long
No,
term,
of
the
course.
market cap will be very reasonable and meaningful. But in the short term, it's like, all right, well, something's going on. Okay.
Yeah, sure. I mean, what I think is if you're in the top 10, like, there's so many coins. If you don't know about crypto, you'll look at the top 10, and if you get out of the top 10, it's sort of a miracle. So I think that from the perspective of just sort of free advertisement, being in the top 10 has value. But yeah, I agree. I mean, of course, the market cap's ridiculous. What coin was it that just doubled the supply and just and then doubled their market cap just like that? Just
Right.
nonsense.
How much is in your treasury? Oh, it's not that much. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, talking about my treasury, you pretty much just doubled my my worth there in a week.
Congratulations. Hold
It's
on, let's
flipping fantastic. I am thinking about splashing out and getting that Big Mac Extreme burger with 4 layers, 4 pates in it.
No.
And then
You gotta stick with ramen for about a week and then see what the price.
then
Then
maybe
you,
I can afford 2,
then you upgrade.
one for both of my kids.
Can't
Yes.
to share the
Oh,
burger anymore. Hold on, I invited Mike. Let's see if he can get the invitation.
what's going to be great is looking at this Bitcoin Cash has now just been storming it this week, and to see how many new eyes that brings into the ecosphere at a perfect time where they can hopefully look at all the interesting stuff going on with cash tokens. And for me, that any sort of building that starts now because of that, and sort of comes starts showing some sort of fruition in the next 1, 2, 3 years, it's going to be, I think, incredibly well timed for the next halvening and everything that comes after that. So
Yeah.
Who else is here?
Take luck.
Tom.
Take luck when you can get it. And BCH has definitely worked its ass off to make room for luck. So I'll take it.
You've certainly been working your ass off to.
I'm trying.
Yeah. Tom, get on the mic, and also
I'm
who
trying
else?
to figure
Mike
out
should
how to get
definitely.
Mike on here. We're having a I don't know. Well, we'll get him on here eventually. He's probably not on iOS, and he's just now finding out that he's a third-class citizen in Twitter.
Hang on, let's turn this on there.
Hey, Max. Max is on here. You want to come up and tell us how your farm is doing, Max? If you want to, you're welcome. If not, no worries.
Exit level. There we go. Sorry, I'm also got Lego Harry Potter years 1 to 4 on the go at the same time. And I
Hey,
think the
that's
Bluetooth controller just dropped out. So this is how we're celebrating the good news today. My daughter
the
and
way.
me. So, uh, soon we'll be able to afford games that are more expensive than Lego Star Wars. Woo! and Lego Harry Potter. Uh, yeah, what a great way to end the week. And what's really nice is as well the guys who I basically at the office who bought quite a lot based on my um recommendation of it are now quite firmly in the plus, and that's really nice, you know.
It
Going
is.
from minus quite significant life-changing
It
amounts
is.
to
It's not
plus.
the thing to advertise all the time, you know, the speculative angle of it. It's not
Yeah.
always the right thing to talk about, but when it works out, it's good for the people using it. That's the whole incentive of Bitcoin, right? Was use the fact that it's going to grow in usage to encourage people to start using it earlier than they might otherwise.
Yep. And I was wondering, I was looking a little bit. So I mean, Jerome Powell seems to be signaling also quite a bit about crypto's future.
Oh, what's he been saying?
That let me see if I can get the quote up. Jerome crypto. Then we can have it on the record. Jet, are you there? Did I see that correctly?
He's on.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey man, how's it going?
Pretty good. I'm kind of in shock. Like I don't know. I feel like I should be hedging some BCH right now, but at the same time, like I also feel like we're getting back to what we're actually like closer to what the price should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, it's very tempting. The price goes up very quickly, and of course, the chance of it coming back down again is also relatively high. But if you uh, it's just so hard to predict. I mean, the price where it is right now, it's still relatively low historically. We've got a lot to gain on our ratio with BTC, so if that sort of money flows back in again, I don't know. For me, I'm not. I'm just very wary of hedging or because basically I want as much Bitcoin Cash as possible, and if I'm pretty sure the you know if you see the volume drops, then that might be a good time to start hedging. But at the moment, the last time I looked, the volume was huge. Relative to how it's been, it's just massive. So that momentum is coming with volume, rather than just a liquidity squeeze.
If it's money, not lunch. If it's lunch money, not like just spending money, you might want to set like a balance or something like that. Just basic financial planning. Set a balance of assets in terms of dollars or whatever it is that you do purchasing power in, and then just rebalance as time goes on. That's one way to do it. Or the other way is to just completely degen YOLO, like Dino Pawns. He didn't explain his strategy yesterday when we were on, but his strategy is keep a bunch of capital in reserve and then just constantly long. And even if the longs get liquidated, you just re-enter the position with your capital and pretend you didn't get liquidated.
Oh,
So,
bloody hell!
so
It
just
sounds a little bit like the strategy of going to roulette and always betting on red or black and then just doubling up each time you lose.
yeah, that's what it is.
It's a great strategy until it's not.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. Except because his assumption is that BCH is at the bottom. That's his assumption,
That's a
right?
pretty fair assumption, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that means that hopefully he's longing a huge amount right now, and he's filthy wealthy because
Oh,
with
he
the
is.
price. Good.
Have you not
Good.
seen there's the BCH Bull Telegram. Hold on. I'm gonna give you
Okay.
his percents right now. Give me a second. So the price
Did
is
he
up,
actually?
what, 25%. So here's his these are various contract durations. So he's been in these for various lengths of time. These aren't all starting at the same amount of time and they're different durations and so forth. So here we go. plus 97%, plus 273%, plus 269%, plus 249%, plus 251%, plus 330%.
Fantastic. Did he give any sort of hint in the sort of size he's playing with?
Oh yeah, these are all of these are over $1,000. So these are like 3, 8, 10, 7,000, 8,000, 8,000, 10,000. Here's a Chinese yuan.
That's good.
Chinese yuan one is 63,000. Yeah, he does more than USD. He does other pairs as well. Oh, by the way, we added euro and Australian dollars to oracles.cash, to the oracles now. So services that need to price things in Australian dollars or euro, that's all available now. So there's, provable historical price data available now for those.
That's great. Yeah, I think for me, euros is very interesting. Of course, the country where you're in, the prices of different currencies are quite volatile. So I don't like keeping even dollars, because I'd rather just knowing exactly sort of how much I've got relative to the product in my local land. So if I'm going to hedge, I'm hedging in euros. But I have to admit, I'm not hedging. I'm degenning all the way. All the way until I can use BCH to fly to the moon. Anyway, guys, I gotta love you and leave you. I've got my wife just prepared dinner for my family, so I'm gonna say bye. But I'm gonna be maybe I'll catch up with you later if you're still around.
Take care, man.
Take care. Bye.
Yeah, I'm in a different situation than Fiendish was. I'm at the point where I'm like running out of local fiat, and I still need some because I can't do everything in BCH. And so I'm like, I technically I should be converting to local currency, but I just can't bring myself to do it. So I just use AnyHedge to take hedge positions. Just hold on to my precious as long as I can without selling it.
So does that mean you lost some money during the last couple of days?
No, it means
because
I
you
was
were hedging?
perfectly stable in the last couple of days. It means my
Well, I mean, did you not ride the wave upwards? Is kind of more the point then.
Yeah, it did. So that means I was hedging specifically in USD, so my USD value was perfectly stable throughout that, which is not a happy thing exactly, but it was the plan. So, that's what I call it, so that I don't cry. I just say the value is stable.
Yeah, a bit of balancing is needed there. That's for sure.
No, but it is. It's. I'm mostly joking. It is real risk management, right? If you have some capital that you need just to survive and live on, it's very dangerous to put that in something that's volatile. So have to balance things out. Reality.
Absolutely. I'm also still paying the rent in euros.
Yeah.
So that's kind
but
of
the
the
nice
same
thing
situation.
is you don't have to go into stable coins, right? You don't have to go into stable coins where they can rug you. You don't have to go into fiat, not all the time, so that you don't have to worry about the bank telling you, oh, you can't use your money. So yeah, it's nice being able to hedge without having to actually leave BCH.
Very true. I have to try it one day. As soon as the system is available for wallets, I'll probably use it all the time.
Yeah, we need to make it easier to use. Everything needs to get easier to use. As you often say, we both say, right? The usability in apps and products is where it's at, bringing entrepreneurs in.
Yeah, in my opinion, the stuff that you guys been doing on BCH Pool, as far as I know, it's mostly just the website, right? And then of course then you have the integration that Pektaka made, but it's mostly on the website. And to me, that's a fantastic first step. But you need to actually integrate into all wallets somewhere, because it's kind of like feeling of hey, I've been shipping this wallet application. Hey, please download my APK from our website, and then suddenly you get into Play Store, and suddenly all these people are starting to use it. That's kind of the feeling. It's there, but most people won't actually use it until it's in their face.
Yeah, and that's not totally true though. The DeFi ecosystem is, for the most part, done through websites. So some of it's done through wallet apps, but a lot of it is done through websites. So it's accessible to that group of people, and then it's also accessible to bot makers. So there's already a number of ARB bots that are running against the BCH Bull. And then it's of course integrated into Paytaka wallet. And then we've talked to pretty much every wallet, but you know, it's like, hey, do you want to implement this thing? And they're like, yeah, sure. How much volume do you have? And you're like, well, you're going to be the volume. And they're like, no, I'm not interested. So we prove
Yeah.
the volume first, and then they'll get interested in the volume and how much money that could bring them. So yeah, we're I think we're at the point now. It's like almost 10,000 contracts over, I think about 100. So it's about 10,000 contracts and about 100,000 BCH. What's that? 1 point, fuck, I don't know, huge number.
Yesterday or today.
Yeah, yesterday, today. It's a huge amount of volume in US dollars. So yeah, I think we're at the point where we could take it to wallets and be like, hey, you're missing out on something that people are obviously wanting to use. Yeah, we'll get there.
Oh yes, it's slowly building. I'm seeing that too, and as the quality goes up, then you just at one point hit the knee in the curve, and it just keeps on going up, and it's fun. And to me, I'm really just building for myself. That's my priority one, and I guess you guys are partly also doing that. Your main user is you, and then a lot of people like your products too, and so it gets bigger that way. I really like that. Yeah, not being a company in just pushing out a product that you don't actually use yourself.
No. Oh man, I've never eaten so much dog food in my life. I love it. It's very nice to be able to make something and then use it. And it really serves a purpose, right? Like AnyHedge is very valuable for general protocols because all of our capital is in BCH. And in the past, we had to hold some fiat or stable coins, which really put a bad taste in our mouths. But yeah, once we had everything working and all the machinery working and everything automated, then we started making P2P contracts. And so we have some quite significant size P2P contracts with certain counterparties that let us hedge, our operating capital. But it's all in BCH, so everything we do is in BCH. There's just like it's like the one thing we have to pay for in fiat is like lawyers. Like they just won't. So everything else we do in BCH, literally. I love it.
Oh yes, but you still have employees and whatever bills you have, you pay out in something like dollars or whatever,
No,
and
almost
then convert
everything is in
that.
BCH. No, so
I mean the price, what you're actually doing is
yeah,
of course the actual money.
Some things are
That
denominated. Yeah, that's right.
that's
The
funny.
denomination is often in something else. Yeah, that's just a accounting headache.
Yeah, and of course, if you say to somebody, hey, you get 1 BCH a month or a week, whatever, and suddenly the price doubles, they're very happy. But if the price halves, then they can't pay their bills. So
Right.
that's the that's the problem.
Hey, it looks
And
like oh, I'm sorry. Go on, Tom. I thought you were done.
no, I'm done. Go on.
Oh, okay. I just saw Mike had been able to find the join button somewhere. You want to teach us where it is, Mike? Because nobody else might be able to find it.
Hello everyone. I tried two different computers and it looks like only my phone
Yeah, no,
is going to allow
it
me to
only
do
works
it.
on phone. Yeah, it doesn't work on desktop.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, sorry, I should have told you
oh, I feel like my dad, like trying to work a remote control.
that. Right?
No,
Can you hear me now?
I'm getting older. Yeah, so people want to know why it's going up. We all have guesses. I'm reading Reddit, and I think it was because Bartlett Master Jewelers in North Queensland started accepting Bitcoin
Obviously,
Cash
right?
a couple
That's
days
what I
ago.
was thinking.
So there you go. No, but honestly, I think the catalyst for BCH in particular was the news 2 or 3 days ago that the new exchange called EDX is going to list only 4 coins to trade in spot trading: Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ether, and Litecoin. You would expect those 4 coins to do well in that news, but
Quote from
like
Mike.
because BCH is the lowest ranked of those coins listed, it also has the lowest amount of liquidity. And if there are any shorts in the market, those people are prone to be ripped. And it looks like there have been many short liquidations in the past, even just in the past 2
Oh,
hours.
so you think maybe
So
it ticked up and liquidated a bunch of shorts at one point yesterday, and then today it ticked up just enough to trigger another uh,
yeah,
tranche of
exactly.
short. I see. So I see. So you're saying it's just like burning through shorts. Uh, I see. So this just happened to be a dense. Uh,
Yeah, you don't, if you pay very close attention and find out where the shorts are, you go stop hunting.
yeah,
You could trigger things like
I
this.
see.
I don't know where the shorts are hiding. I don't know what prices are gonna set them off. If anyone knew that, you would just take advantage and cause these rips to occur. But you don't really know where they are. But you know that they are there because you see after the fact. You see on different derivatives exchanges. You see the liquidations.
Right.
That's all
I
public.
see. So maybe it was just it's a dense spot of stops. That's interesting.
We've had like 4 years of uh, getting hurt by people shorting the market. Every once in a while, it's nice to rip 80%
Right.
in their face.
Right.
We're all celebrating BCH below 200, and
It's
like a
insane.
year
Yeah.
ago, that
It was at those
it felt
thousands.
so horrible
Yeah, yeah,
to be
it's
down
horrible.
there.
What is it that you think
What is it that you think?
I'm getting echo. Mike, I was going to ask you, you think I've seen you have a kind of different opinion than a lot of people in BCH ecosystem about various market issues, and you actually have that expertise. What is it you think? So you were saying that you think the perma short on BCH has just been a popular position just because of whatever historical price, whatever it is. But you think that may be changing, or you think this is just a temporary edX
Yeah,
boost?
I think I get really upset when I see people in BCH come into chats and say, the reason the price is low is because there's like a giant organization trying to manipulate the price and keep us
Right.
down. I don't think that's true, and I don't think that's very productive as a BCH member.
It's not a steel
Um,
man type of argument, right? It's like, all right, well, what can we do so that it doesn't matter, even if, yeah,
yeah, it's also like incredibly hard to prove or verify even after the fact that it was true.
mm,
A couple times there's been a coordinated effort behind the scenes to take large amounts of BCH off of the exchange, off of lending books, in order to see if people were shorting the market. And I've seen that maybe twice in the past 4 years in BCH, and both times the market didn't react at all. So
I don't think either
like,
one of those though. I mean, just to be fair, I don't think a huge amount of BCH came off of exchanges during those
oh,
events. Did
and
it?
I know it
It
did.
did.
I know how much came off,
Really?
and it was a very large amount, and the market didn't move. So
I see. So the whole
uh,
claims about like the conspiracy of naked shorting. I mean, I'm sure there's naked shorting going on somewhere in some amount, but you don't think
well,
that's a
yeah, I mean,
huge cause of the
no, I
long-term
don't. I
short.
don't think that's no. I don't think that's why BCH has made its way down into like 30th position. Um, that said, there were liquidations today,
Right.
so there were some shorts who got caught with their pants down
Right,
today.
right.
But in general, no, I don't think there's some covert group of people. Even the maxis couldn't organize something that powerful to hold a coin down for that long.
Right.
I just think, this is the sad truth is, I think people slowly started leaving the project. Maybe they didn't understand it. Maybe they didn't have the same ideals that everyone in this room has. And all they saw were headlines saying, like, this fork happened, this person did bad things, this exchange stole money. And they're like, okay, well, BCH stinks. I'm just going to stop thinking about it. That's the worst part. When people stop talking about you, that's the worst feeling.
Right.
When they complain about you, that's fine. But when they stop even like thinking about you, that's the time to worry.
What is it that you see
It doesn't.
with all the work that people are doing and or just even not related to the work that people are doing? What is it that you see in recent times, or things that haven't even happened yet, that you think are going to drive a long-term recapturing of all that purchasing power? Because I mean, in the long term, the concept, right, is that a floor utility will set some kind of price floor, but until there's just a massive amount of usage, that doesn't really carry weight, right? It's all potential and forecasts and predictions.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like the rest of you, I'm waiting for someone from outside the community to realize that building on BCH on chain is cheap, reliable, and scalable. And if someone out there can, I don't know, build a business around it, or just utilize the fact that you can do this, you can use the chain immutably and cheaply and immediately too. You don't have to wait; it's there for you now. I think that's the type of growth that would explain, up 50% in a day.
Right.
I don't see. There's one cool project that I can't talk about that's going to be released. I don't know, between now and August.
Yes.
Sort of like old promises are going to come to light. They're actually going to come to market.
All right.
And it'll be fun.
I wonder if could it be that they're buying, knowing that full well that they're launching, and that team is pushing up this price? Like, for me, I can't really see who or why he's buying it, but I do know of that project, or I assume I do, and I think it could be like paradigm. Well, it is paradigm changing. The question is, does it get traction? And if it does,
Mike says
we're just
we're just riding the wave.
There's certainly big
blood of short.
Sorry, there's big money behind that project. Right, there are some. I'm not talking crypto whales, but I'm talking people with dollars to spend, who are going to watch that project. So yeah, potentially that's what's happening.
Yeah, because I mean,
somebody's getting.
They've invested. I mean, I know that it's double-digit millions. What has been invested into the sort of just the surrounding of that project to help support BCH, to sort of help give that a foundation for that project. So there's big money behind that. What I really like is it's not crypto money, as you say, and it's actually something, utility. It's essentially just using the blockchain for utility, for offering services, for offering products, and just leveraging that technology. And I think for me, there's nothing more exciting than that, because that will really set the imagination on fire for entrepreneurs that see this and be like, oh shit, okay, wow, that's possible. And then really seeing the benefits of blockchain, this immutable blockchain that's decentralized, that's permissionless. And that's kind of actually why I invested so much when I did, even though I could see that, okay, we're quite high. That was, 2020. Oh shit, I can't remember anymore. 2022. I bought quite a bit more because I was really thinking, okay, that project is going to release really soon. And I'm so glad to see, okay, 1 year late or 2 years late or whatever. Hey, that's okay. That's pretty on time as big projects like that go.
To be fair, the market has been moving in ways that are probably very much disconnected from actual utility, and I'm guessing that BCH basically has been going down because it's been going down. So you get a lot of people that might want to invest, but they're not going to invest in BCH because it's been going down for a year. So it's also in that way, yeah, as I said, it's completely disconnected from utility. Why are people buying BTC? Well, it's not because it's so fantastically useful.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hey,
if people using it turns around into people believe it's going to be useful, also, which is actually a valid case for BCH, then that can also turn it around.
definitely. Yeah, and this is why I mean the price is so important. Not necessarily the nominal value, but the direction of the price, because of course it's just speculative right now. For the average person, you really have to look hard and really have to do your research to find out where you can use it, where you can spend it. Tom, I know you've got lots of places where you spend it, but for the average person, maybe they're not willing to spend that much time. They just want to spend it. So the entire value proposition for the majority of people that would invest into crypto now and buy into Bitcoin Cash is the fact that, well, I assume it will hold its value relative to the price of food or whatever, or it will go up in value. So of course, when the price goes up, it attracts people, attracts inflow, and by attracting inflow, of course, everyone who's holding Bitcoin Cash is going to have more money to invest in their projects and get Flowy app better, get Celine wallet even more pimped out. General Protocols has got some cash inflow now, some purchasing power inflow, and this is what I love to see, because of course it's speculative. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, then I'll be coming soon. Sorry, but it's of course it's speculative. But at a certain point, if it's just a downward spiral of purchasing power, it's very difficult to attract anyone into that ecosystem to sort of give it that floor, give it that stability. So yeah, I love seeing this little change here, which is quite dramatic, quite impressive.
I also think there's a big
two more
Oh, yeah.
observations, if you would. If you sort coins by movement in the past 24 hours, this is interesting. 3 out of the top 4 movers. Number 1 is Bitcoin Cash, but number 2 is Bitcoin SV, and number 4 is the XEC, the eCash, Amori's little thing.
That's interesting.
No conclusions to be made, but
sure.
I don't know what's happening there.
But that's really interesting.
The other thing that I was noticing just before the kicked off a couple of days ago, GBCH, the Grayscale BCH trust, which is as close to an ETF as BCH has, that had been trading at around a 15% discount. And the ETCG, which is the ETH Classic, that had the deepest discount, that was at around 63% at its worst. It made its way back to 52%. So of all the Grayscale products out there, of all the trusts that they have, the Bitcoin Cash one was removing its discount to NAV at the fastest pace, which I don't know why. There's a lot of talk about, the new ETFs that are being filed by BlackRock, and who's the other one? Valkyrie. But for that discount gap to be closing on BCHG to BCH, that's, I think, significant. So one thing that might be happening is if you're holding BCHG, I hold a little bit myself, and you notice that the gap is closing, what you do is you say, oh, well, I want to take advantage of this. I'm going to sell my shares of the Grayscale product, BCHG, but I don't want to lose my exposure to BCH. I still want to keep that exposure. So what you do is you buy back as many BCH as you sell shares of BCHG. What that does to the price of BCH is it actually makes it go up. There's price positive influence on that. So maybe that's happening. Maybe that's adding to this a little bit too. It doesn't explain BSV or eCash, but maybe it adds a little bit of momentum for BCH.
Yeah, and I just looked, their prices also went up. What I was wondering is just, is the money flowing from some of those projects into BCH, but it doesn't seem that's the case. What's interesting, Mike, can you explain to me, why did you expose yourself to Grayscale Bitcoin Cash? What were you calculating was the benefits there?
Basically, it's a gamble that when BCHG launched, it would be trading at a massive premium, and it was. But my shares were locked for 6 months before I could sell them, and during that 6 months, the premium went to a discount, and I've been sitting on that bag for a few years now. I did the same thing with GPTC, also with OBTC. Both worked out really well, so I'm 2 for 3 on these trades.
Great,
And
nice one.
you-
Okay,
you
so it was
judged
Mike
that-
cashing out his Grayscale to Bitcoin that's pushed up the price. So thank you, Mike.
I think importantly, you judged that those guys were reasonably reliable, and that there was not going to be some kind of silly rug, something like that. So
It's really a dumb product. It's a terrible product, right? If this isn't a quick explainer to those products, the Grayscale ones, they say, okay, I have a bag of Bitcoin Cash, and you can own a share of that bag, but every year I'm going to charge you 2% management fee just for keeping that bag of coins safe. So if you buy into this, number one, you hope that they don't lose that bag of Bitcoin Cash, and they haven't. They're at least responsible in
that's
that
the part
sense.
you judged. All right.
Yeah, but you're still paying them 2% for God knows what. So every year you lose 2%, and that compounds, and eventually after, I think I've had it for 4 years now. You have a lot less BCH than when you originally put in.
Hopefully,
So like, when's a good time to get out? Like at 15% discount, at 20%?
right now, and put it on
It's
BCH
unclear.
Bull.
Yeah, please do.
That's interesting.
Don't buy Grayscale products.
You heard it here.
And don't buy ETFs, because you guys know how to store your coins.
That's right. Yeah.
That's right. You put it on somewhere safe like Binance, and right, and you put your password,
Stop,
somewhere
stop.
safe.
Nobody knows that you're being
So,
sarcastic.
like
Stop.
you give it to your next door neighbor. Don't store your money, or your crypto, whatever you want to call it, on exchanges. If anyone's listening, I was just joking, of course. Self custody, not your keys, not your coins. Don't sue me.
That's right. That's right.
Not investment advice.
There was one thing I was gonna say about making your own luck. I wonder what how much luck you think we can make, Mike, because I think the direction of it, like you said, the people in the room, so to speak, who have the same idea and vision, is that it's going to be used by more or less everyone in the world to do commerce and finance and savings and so forth. So with that in mind, I always see us building up usage, building up merchants. That's still a very hard slog because the network effect isn't there yet. But then also building up, for example, we're working on the scaling chips right now. Different people have different ideas, but it's a very, very clear intent that, hey, look, our whole ecosystem wants to signal to the world that, yeah, we totally intend to scale to the world, whether that's one scaling method or another. But yeah, I don't know. I see all that as making our own luck, and then eventually I think all those will add up. But what do you think? I don't know, Mike, do you have any opinion on what it is that people are going to detect? Is it going to be businesses making money, which is what General Protocols is trying to do, and these people, this mystery project that you're talking about, I assume they're obviously trying to make money with whatever project it is. There's the BCH Guru, these NFT and BitCaps and NFT projects, they're trying to make money. Is it people making money that's going to draw people in, or is it the infrastructure and the commitment, or what do you think the big leading indicators are going to be for people to decide that it's a good future bet?
That's a good question. I could tell you, I don't think it's going to be from getting brick and mortar stores to accept BCH. That's always a good story to tell, and it's a good picture to paint. I don't think that's what's going to drive the meteoric rise of BCH. I think it's more like what you were saying. It's projects that are delivering something on chain, many different transactions per second of people making money. I look at everything from like a trader's perspective. So I think the most popular types of transactions in the next year will be sort of financially motivated ones, whether it's like a DeFi or an on-chain derivatives exchange. BCH Bull's amazing. But yeah, make your own luck. But I think what's happened is like we've laid the foundation as a coin to say, you come try us out. It works and it's cheap. And BCH has always been, the community has always been a little decentralized, disorganized, very bad at marketing. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. So it's hard to get the word out. But eventually somebody out there is going to say, I have a project. I don't want to put it on Bitcoin. It's too expensive. Ether's too expensive. Hey, look, let's try BCH, and it'll work.
It'll just work. Yeah, I'm kind
Yeah.
of along the same lines. I think entrepreneurs are the biggest gap, including the marketing skills that they bring, among other things. But yeah, I think entrepreneurs making money, actually making use of it, right? Instead of buying the internet, you buy the products that you can get and the services that you can get on the internet. Except it happens that when people are using BCH, that is literally going to drive up the purchasing power of it. So there's a little bit of a difference between that with the internet. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I shall
I'm
endeavor
really
to make as much money as possible.
yes, do it. But I couldn't agree with Mike anymore. I also think the merchant adoption thing, as nice as it is a red herring. I think it's sort of putting the cart before the horse. And once BCH has basically is being used in highly profitable businesses, you know, you have one success story. And GP, I think what's really important, as I've said to you before, is just make sure that you always sell yourself as a success story, no matter what the reality is, because that will attract many people too. They'll look at your product and be like, "Oh wow, this must be a success story. This is amazing." And of course, then it makes it actually happen. And but it attracts people into the ecosystem. But at the point in time where Bitcoin Cash is, you know, got a few entrepreneurs running highly successful businesses on it, people won't need you know, these guys are going around to adopt merchants, you know, at huge costs. When you add up all the costs in money and time, it's just massive. And then you don't really get that high retention, as we've seen in quite a few countries. I think Townsville is probably the exception here, but and in Argentina, I know they're doing great work, but it's really hard. But what you'll do is you'll just have people accepting Bitcoin Cash voluntarily. They'll just, you know, it'll just become synonymous. It's like, okay, I've heard about this. Let me read up about it. Yeah, I'll accept this. And they'll accept it themselves through information they get online. And that's very cheap and very fast. And that's, at that point, that's when you'll just see it will happen within just such a short period of time, whether it's 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or 5. But I really think it'll be in that sort of time period where it goes from, oh my God, this is happening, to, oh my God, I can use this everywhere. And it will happen voluntarily.
I'll steel man the case for the merchant stuff though a bit, because it's just like anything else. You don't exercise, you don't try it, you don't try and fail, and you don't get any muscle, right? So I think those
Yep.
guys doing all that stuff have learned some super valuable lessons, and
Oh, yeah,
we
sure.
as a whole have learned some very valuable lessons from it. And them having done that, when things start to pick up, they'll know exactly what to do. So places like
Oh,
Townsville,
yes.
the places in Argentina, a few in Venezuela, a bit in Nigeria, when things actually start picking up and people are using it, they're going to know exactly how to exploit that and put it into people's hands quickly, and enable people to do commerce on a local level as well as on the internet. So yeah,
Definitely.
there's a case for it as well.
Yeah,
But
sure.
it's
No, and this is don't misunderstand me. It's a bit like the core hardcore Bitcoin cashers have stopped Bitcoin Cash from disappearing. If there wasn't like the really hardcore people, Bitcoin Cash wouldn't exist. I really don't think so. But at the same time, those same people may prevent its growth at certain other aspects. So they're essential, but you also need something else to get to the next stage. And I see it as the same with those adoption drives, especially in Townsville, but and Argentina. And Argentinian guys have been doing a great job. And I think that without them, Bitcoin Cash wouldn't be where it is today, and maybe it wouldn't have survived. I don't know. So I think it's really important, and everything what you said there is true. My point is just to get to that next level. It's not going to come through that merchant adoption. So and that's where we need highly successful entrepreneurs. We need people to be making money. And as I said, just flout. You have to flout that. You have to sell it. You have to oversell it. How successful you are, catch the eyes, get the people in it. Whether it's the BCH gurus, whether it's General Protocols, or whether it's this upcoming company that's going to be releasing some interesting stuff on BCH. Make sure that is marketed.
yeah,
It's about the entrepreneurship. How do you sell it to an entrepreneur? And you basically have to follow the standard rules. And I think Mertens already mentioned this half an hour ago. If you come in the story and say, well, I can bring you maybe 10 customers a week, then you're going to be like, nah, I don't care. But if you really bring the numbers, then yes. So then it becomes a really simple question of who do you sell this to in a way that says, hey, I can give you 1,000 customers a week. Well, obviously, there's going to be a much easier sell if you do it on the internet, because they come from everywhere, than if you do it in a brick and mortar store. And that just means that it's going to take longer to reach those people in the brick and mortar stores, the merchants, because you need the growth first. So I completely agree with the whole argument given by, well, 3 people now. And it's just so easy to explain from a simple entrepreneurship storyline of when would you accept this? When would you invest into installing a terminal in your company to do this? And of course, other parts are, hey, you need to actually have a good application for it, a good merchant point of sale, and all that kind of stuff, which we also need to build. And we're still busy on that because the current ones are not that fantastic.
I'll say though, I'm gonna again steel man this a bit because I think it's underestimated. I think you guys are underestimating a bit. I have been in Townsville. I've stayed there for quite a number of weeks over time, like over the years, and it's fucking amazing to just be able to go around and do every single thing of your daily life in BCH. It's a different experience. It's one of those things like high-speed internet, digital photography, whatever. Like once you go there, you're kind of like, fuck, I gotta go back to the normal world. It really sucks. So there's something to it, and I don't know. I think it's one of those things. We'll have BCH has some side bonuses, some side benefits that fucking nobody else has, and those are nice, on your marketing resume, to be able to be like, hey, oh, and by the way, we've got cities onboarded. What the fuck, you do? It's something other people can't say, other coins can't say. It's just an additional tick on your marketing box, and if you actually live it, I mean, it's amazing as a lived experience as well. So yeah, there's something to it. I think it's another piece of the brain. Fiendish, we've talked about that. There's a executive brain, there's your marketing brain, there's your sales brain. Because in a decentralized ecosystem, you don't have a CEO, so you've got to figure out how to execute all these different facilities: marketing, sales, software development, product development, strategy, all of those things. You got to figure out how to do those without a CEO on top telling everybody what to do and making the last call. We have to make that work. So I just think it's
We,
another.
we,
It's
we,
another
all,
piece of
we
the
all know
brain.
that that's not quite true, though, right? There is a CEO of Bitcoin Cash, right? It's just secret. It's just the secret CEO,
It's
the
Satoshi.
cat.
It's secretly Satoshi. Yeah, so not fake Toshi. Just to be perfectly clear to anybody listening, not fake Toshi.
For anyone that's
Satoshi.
listening, there is no CEO of Bitcoin Cash, and
Yeah,
that's
no.
why it's so disorganized, and that's why it has historically performed like it does, because it is actually truly decentralized.
It is. It really is. So yeah, I just see all that merchant onboarding as another part of our brain. It's like it's kind of like our sales, right? The day that you decide, oh shit, we need sales. We can't just be advertising online. We need to have, boots on the ground and people talking to people. It'll be like, oh yeah, we got that. Whereas some other coin that doesn't have that, they would be like, oh fuck, how do you do that? I have no idea how
What
to do
happened to the Green
sales.
Glasses army? You said boots on the ground, right? I mean, we've got the Green Glasses army that was sort of a thing that started. I think Callisti was the one with that said this. The Green Glasses army. I wasn't so keen on it at the start, but it can make quite a good visual, right?
It's
Boots on the
pretty,
ground.
it's pretty good. I don't know. It has a risk of becoming reactionary to the because it is like a laser eyes joke, right? It's like protection against the laser eyes is where it came from originally.
But you'll lose control of it. This is what I'm always worried about. It starts off as fun and tongue in cheek, and all of a sudden the idiots start coming in, and then the idiots get control, and then all of a
Yes.
sudden it becomes serious.
It becomes
And
a
if you're not
religion,
wearing
yeah.
green, it becomes a religion, and then it's like, oh shit, what have we done?
Yeah,
This is a
exactly.
joke, guys. You're out. Get out of BCH. Not wearing your green glasses.
No true Scotsman. Yeah. Mike, have you ever been somewhere? Like, have you ever lived somewhere or visited for a while where you could just use crypto all day, every day?
No.
I see.
How many choices are there? There's like Australia, St. Kitts. Anywhere else?
Yeah, that was a long list.
Bitcoin Beach in El
I think you
Salvador.
covered it. Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah.
I think
I
Mark
don't think there's a
Mark
lot,
was
yeah.
listening. He debunked
But
that
we
one.
had the
You can talk about
BCH
strike
conference.
usage there.
Strike usage, yeah. PayPal City. We've had the conference in Townsville before, and it's grown since then. So yeah, I recommend it to anybody. Like visit Townsville, or I assume St. Kitts is still doing the thing. I'm not sure, but visit a place that has it just for the experience of using it all the time. I think New Hampshire has a bit of that. I don't think it's as much as Townsville, but you could do, from what I hear, you can do quite a bit in New Hampshire. And what we're
It'd be actually
talking
kind of
about is
interesting to have
not,
Mark on it. Mark
not
was just
like,
at Porkfest.
yeah. But what we're talking
Yeah.
about here is not using crypto through credit cards, because that's really like using a legacy finance intermediary to facilitate conversion of your crypto is really what that is. And it's nice and that's useful, but what we're talking about here is just paying with your crypto to a merchant who's accepting crypto, that kind of thing.
But absolutely, if I'm in a place where I know there's a Bitcoin accepting merchant, I will go out of my way to spend
That's
it
how I
there.
am on the
Like,
internet.
I always say, food always tastes better when you pay in
Right?
Bitcoin Cash.
Right?
Yeah.
On the internet also, we
Tongue
use that
jerky.
stuff. The everything we can that we can do with BCH, we do.
I have a quick.
In Europe, it's still quite. The word is pathetic when it comes to actually spending your Bitcoin Cash or crypto in general. The closest you get to learning a little bit what the acceptance rates are is if you open the ATM website called shitcoins.club, and it has a map, and it shows, it's a fantastic name, I know.
That's great.
But it's still it's good ATMs, and you basically see the countries where they're still allowed to have these Bitcoin ATMs. No, they don't even do BCH, but there's not a whole lot of countries that actually allow them to have ATMs in the first place. Belgium got removed earlier this year, which makes it the closest I got from the Netherlands is to drive to Poland. That's like 600 kilometers drive to go and visit an ATM. I don't do that every week. It's really quite yeah, let's put it simple, in need of improvement because that's just BTC and BCH. We're not even talking about that. There's others that do this too. If you look at the ATM radar, so there are BCH ones, but it's good to see a little bit what you can do. And I hear some good stories.
We have some ATM operators in
about
the audience here. Well, I don't know if they want to come up to
yeah.
talk. Yeah, I think Jeremy just joined us too.
I have some good story in Slovenia, but that's about it. That's the only place I know they actually accept more than just ATMs.
I've got to be frank here. I mean, in Germany, they've only just been accepting credit card for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years in the local supermarkets in Edeka, in Aldi, in Lidl. So
they're like, no
so
more
to be
cash.
honest, like, so if you like just thinking accepting crypto when they've only just started accepting credit card, we're asking too much of the crowds. You know, we've got to tone it down one step at a time. But it'll come.
Bro,
They're getting
when I
used to
moved to
cashless too.
Japan, when I moved to Japan, I was like, oh man, this place, they're all about cash. They're all behind the times. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that now that they haven't gone to like fully forcing credit cards and everything. I can still use cash for everything here. It's really good. I really appreciate it now that they didn't do that yet. I'm sure they're trying to.
Yeah, be
So
careful what
Jeremy,
you wish for.
Jeremy, are we gonna start lighting fires?
Yeah,
Trying to
hey
shit talk
guys.
people?
Hey, well, how you doing? Hope you're all doing wonderful. It's been an amazing day. Good to be back on another space. I won't take up too much time because I had a big talk yesterday, so I'll give it some space to other people. But two quick things. One, Selene version 1.0.9 is out today, so we reworked the UI. It's even slicker. So if you're on Selene Wallet or if you're not, download
Right,
it.
look, we've got to go into the dog.
And the second
Do you
thing.
want to go into the dog and thing? Oh shit, I'm on the mic on. Sorry.
And second thing is obviously BCH has been crushing it the last couple of days, which has been obviously a bit of a surprise to all of us, but not that much of a surprise. The surprise is the up, not that we're actually killing it. And I've seen Grant from Litecoin Underground. He was listening in on the space yesterday and also today. So I don't know if he wants to come on stage and chat to us a bit. It might be interesting to hear from an outside perspective, maybe picking up on some vibes that we're unaware of in the broader crypto scene. It'd be actually super cool to hear his take if he feels like having a chat. Because we've been having some good banter on crypto and on Twitter and about the different coins, different approaches. So it's nice to see our approach finally working a little bit.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. I've sent him an invite in case he is willing to come up here and have a chat. And I said shit talk,
No pressure.
But in reality, right? Like I don't know, we're not actually a laser-eyed crowd. We have a lot of belief and we have a lot of confidence, but not laser eyes. That's one thing we don't have, thankfully.
Not yet. Wait until the price comes up. The idiots will come. Crypto is never dull day. By the way, I just wanted to say, Tom, it's great to finally be on the line with you. We spoke so much, but I actually can't remember if we've ever had a call. And I also wanted to say great work on your app, and it's lovely to see the community working together, that you and Callisti, just doing a little cooperation there to help the app. I think this is fantastic. The strength of the blockchain and of cryptocurrency is in the community. And it's just props to that. It's great.
Yeah, I love it. It's one of those things that I'm not very good at, and Callisti already had experience. So now FloweyPay is also available on the Android Play Store, and people can install it directly from there. The link is available from flowy.org/product/pay, so the homepage of FloweyPay. And it's a fantastic wallet for everybody to try and see if they like it, because I think it's fantastic. I use it all the time. And we are trying really hard to keep it as simple and as smooth as possible to even make it, grandmother safe and make sure that we still have all the features in there by, making people put a bit more effort into, hey, which address did this go to, and that kind of stuff that you really want to have in there.
Tom,
So it's I'm really happy with
Tom,
it.
all I want to hear is when you're going to integrate AnyHedge.
Let's talk about that, because I'm not quite sure how to approach that problem.
Yeah, no, it's open-ended, right? Well, when you start with the protocol, it's like, all right, so what do we do with this protocol?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, let's not go into the details, because my first priority right now, and this is a bit of a blind hope. My task list has shifted. So what is at the top now is Cash Fusion. That's something I really want to have.
That'd be great.
It's going to be a bit of an interesting thing, because I don't think anybody's really successfully done it on mobile. And let's see how that works, because it's a bit of a balancing act to make sure that you don't have to have the screen on while waiting and that kind of thing. So it's going to be fun.
I was just looking for entrepreneurs in the audience, since we were talking so much about entrepreneurs. I know we have some ATM operator or operators in here. If anybody wants to come up and tell why you're using it or what you're doing with it. There's I see some miners in the crowd that I know are miners. There's the Bitcoin payment module that makes the point of sale system that's that works with BCH directly. What else is in here? There's us, of course, BCH Bull, General Protocols, making the stability solution that doesn't depend on custodial stable coins, lets you speculate, and also lets you stabilize your purchasing power in gold, USD, Euro, whatever it is that you want. What else do we have in here? Yeah, if you've got some business that you're actually doing on chain, bring it up. There's a BCH Guru.
I'll tell you what
the
happened.
Network, the NFTs. Yeah, Jeremy.
Yeah, well, so earlier today, speaking of, finding new people in the community. So today I went around. I was wearing my Bitcoin Cash hat, right? That I do sometimes. I don't want to do it too much because I don't want to get too much of a rep in the local area, and then the price skyrockets. Might be like a personal safety risk. But I was wearing this hat, right? And I was sitting down outside this restaurant, just having some pasta, and I heard this guy who was leaning up against the door frame. He was talking to his mate, and he was saying, "Oh, are you into crypto and all this stuff?" And he started talking about Tether, and then he started talking about Bitcoin Cash, and those were like the two cryptos he was involved in. And I was thinking, like, what is going on here? Like, that was the main coins that he was talking about. So he talked to his mate for a little bit, then his mate left, and he sat down at the table kind of opposite me. So I got talking to him, and we had a bit of a chat, and then I told him like about the podcast and everything like that. And I told him like Tether's a scam and it's really dodgy, and they've been invested by the New York Attorney General. And he was like mind blown. He had no idea about any of that, because he was saying he was getting into it from some woman he knew whose parents were like these big shot lawyers or something, and they were all keen about Tether. And it just goes to show really how diverse the crypto scene is, when you run into it in the real world like that, and you're just like on a completely different planet from who you're talking to about what they think crypto is, how it's working, who's involved, and stuff like that.
Were your friend's family name, was that
really
Bankman-Fried, the lawyers? Was that there?
Might have been. Maybe he was mates with Caroline Ellison. I don't know. Like, could have been. I didn't ask actually, but yeah, he was a super cool guy though. So anyway, we'll see. But he was funny because I was just talking to him. I told him about the podcast and everything, and then he basically just like invited himself on for an episode. He was like, "Oh yeah," he didn't even know anything about it really. He was like, "Oh, so." I'll see you like next week or whatever. I'll bring some rum and we'll just get on the podcast. And I was like, oh, okay, mate. Like, we'll see. Like, it seemed pretty cool, but I didn't think he really understood that we were just having this conversation about all this different stuff. He was talking about music. He was telling me about the architecture in these like motherboards or whatever. He was really keen on that, it was all great and stuff. But I don't think he realized that my show, like, it's got a bit of a theme, and he didn't really know anything about Bitcoin Cash except that Tether was the best coin in crypto. Like, he might be struggling, but we'll see about that. You might see him on the show.
Have him go lose his shirt shorting Tether, and then he can come on and tell the story about it.
Grant, how you doing, man? Welcome on stage.
Oh man, I got to eat lunch here soon, but you guys got to be giddy as shit. So I wanted to come in and just hear your excitement.
Woo!
Yeah, absolutely.
Money,
Cash
money,
never goes up,
money.
man.
I was talking about you guys.
You
on
know,
Wednesday
you haven't
night.
seen
I
a
was talking
price graph? Yeah.
I was talking about you flipping the hash rate with people, and BTC crowd didn't understand how that would be possible, but you got to be doing it right now, right? People got to be jumping over.
Yeah, that's it. They don't understand anything, man. They don't understand like actually how fragile their lead is. That's the most bizarre thing about it, is that obviously sitting up there at number one in crypto, even just the way they're treating Ethereum, they're not like, if you look into the Ethereum community, there's so many developers. There's so much stuff going on. There's massive conferences. There's, podcasts and discussions and all this stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with any BTC, completely oblivious to it. And in the same way, BCH is much smaller than ETH, but with the additional factor that we share the hash rate, right? So if things are really starting to get rolling a little bit on BCH, well, a bit of the hash rate trickles over. A few more people take a look, and it's a virtuous cycle, right? The more our hash rate rises, because a lot of people have that. I was talking to this guy, you might even know him, as Indigo Nakamoto or something like that on Twitter the other day. Seemed like a big Litecoin guy. And he was saying, like, yeah, okay, this is all some good points, but I don't really want to, get into BCH because I'm worried about my coins getting, 51% reorg, which is not actually, that big of a risk, but it's a fair point. It's very valid, right? So if our hash rate rises even to 5%, 10%, by the time it gets to 20 or 30%, like the
It's
whole
game
market's
over.
going to be like, shit, it's happening. Yeah, exactly.
But I think it's good to keep it in mind. It is fragile, and I really don't think it's out of this world. I'm not saying this will happen, or I think it's likely to happen, but it's not out of this world that BCH is market cap leader in 2 or 3 years. Like, it could happen because the market's crazy. And the thing is that everyone in the community that actually cares about what the goal is, just don't get complacent. It really could happen very quickly and surprise us all very much. But just continue, because at the moment there is no crypto, and BCH is also at that point that is user friendly enough to take on the world. It's just not there, and so there's a big long journey yet to get there. And so just everyone that's listening, don't forget that when we're all billionaires, and there's we never need to work again a day of our lives. Keep cracking. There's a good mission here.
Well, I got to run and eat.
Whether it's
good, congratulations. I got to go. I'll see you guys later.
Take care.
Take care, man.
Talk soon, man.
The thing about
Let's just take a quick look at the numbers.
hold on a second. The thing you were saying, Jeremy, with it's gonna start rolling and all of that, and it's not just BCH. It's Litecoin, it's Ethereum, but the sharks are circling the complacent guy in the water right now, and I think the one thing that can be pretty certain is that there's going to be BTC blood in the water at some point in the near future.
There was a little today, I think.
There was, yeah, but they don't perceive it yet. It's still
which is good. It's really good. Let's not let them know.
And I want to say for anybody who's listening, like the historical situation, right, with BCH. So a lot of people think BCH, is some kind of anti-BTC or something like that, and that's not the case at all whatsoever. When BCH was split, when BCH ecosystem decided to split off, the reason was that it wanted to preserve the idea of Bitcoin reaching the whole world and being used by everybody in the world. And this whole debate of how that happens and so forth, we just won't go into that. But the idea of BCH was not to create it. The whole point of all the people who supported BCH was to make Bitcoin keep going and keep on that trajectory to success, and not to split. There was no intent to split whatsoever. The intent was to just make Bitcoin be reasonable be a reasonable chain that does reasonable things and keeps growing and keeps innovating. But that was impossible. It was impossible, and we had to split to preserve that, or else it would have been derailed, which it was. So, yeah, when we cheer BCH and even against BTC, there's a history to that. It's not a thing that just came out of nowhere. We never wanted to have BTC messed up. We wanted BTC to be the one chain that dominated everything, but that wasn't
didn't
in the
cost
cards.
a few euros or even 80 euros to make a transaction on.
Yeah, but that didn't happen, and so we had to split. And so if you're looking at the future of, okay, well, let's make sure that people have a way to have money that's permissionless and allows them to have control of it, allows them to have privacy, allows them to use it anywhere in the world because it's affordable. That's the mission, right? And so for us to achieve that mission, yeah, it's going to steamroll BTC, and we don't feel bad about it, but it's not a spite thing. It's just that that's just something that's going to happen along the way.
Definitely. And remember, and it's
Yeah,
going to
absolutely.
steamroll fiat as well. This is the important thing.
Steamroll what?
Yeah.
Fiat.
Yeah. Along the way, right? Yeah, BTC is kind of a useful idiot in the tool belt of fiat right now. So, or it has been for the last 6 years or so. So, yeah, it's just a part of the legacy system that has to get disrupted.
For me, the best description of the split has always been that the ideas that Satoshi wrote of, hey, we can scale this way, there's never going to be an actual ceiling, is something that the BTC people said, no, that can't work, we're going to try something different. And in the end, we said, well, we really don't want to try that, but you guys go ahead, or we're going to keep on doing our stuff. And so, like you said, if BTC means it doesn't work because we have 80 euro transaction fees, that just means that I'm so happy we stood by our beliefs and kept the chain alive.
Yeah.
Because we think that this is something that needs to be tried by the market, and it hasn't really been tried so much. So I think still it is the way to scale. And I've tried this, others have tried this. I tested this on software years ago, and we got numbers that were basically the equivalent of what Visa was doing, and that was on normal commercial, not even server hardware. So it really is possible to scale to world size the way that Bitcoin Cash is doing it. And that to me is like, let the world see it. Let us actually try and let the markets feel what it what it means to have, a Visa scale financial system that can run on millions of computers in a way that is impossible to censor and is just something that belongs to the people.
And for businesses, it has much lower costs, right? The various costs involved with running a business with BCH is tiny, right? You put up a tiny amount of money to run a node if you even need one, and your operating costs are just the cost of running a server or something to accept transactions and create transactions and interact.
And that would only be for a bigger company, right?
Yeah,
I mean, for I guess for
the
like your
cost
little
of-
shop or little business, they really don't need to be running their own
No.
don't need to be running their server for Bitcoin
it's
Cash.
just the cost of making an app now. Interacting and doing commerce and everything is just the cost of making an app. There is none of this. You're not paying the big fees to some intermediary who allows you to interact with the, they gatekeep the financial system. They're all out. So
it's interesting also to see how the prices of the let's call it legacy financial system are skyrocketing. I was talking to some people that are doing invoicing. So they have a lot of members, call it an organization, and every month or every quarter, they send an invoice to their members. And this is via an incasso. So they get the money automatically. Now, this is all very simple and it's been in the financial system for decades and it works. Now, what has changed in the last couple of years, the prices for these organizations have really skyrocketed. That we're talking about a couple of euros per member to operate this, which is, you know, a large percentage of the fees they're taking from these people. So it's really pricing itself out, and it becomes really easy to actually compete with the system in this way because the price of the same system, if you build your own new business competing in this space, is going to be so easy to get lower than that. And that's one of the things I think is extremely useful to compete on. I wrote a chip or a document explaining how we could do that on Bitcoin Cash. I'm so still hoping that some company can start that, because really is quite easy to compete in this space nowadays.
Yeah. There's the costs that are just straight up business costs and operating costs, but then there's also these walls. I call them the walls, right? The invisible walls where people who are well served by legacy finance, they don't know the walls are there. They've never run into them. And then one day you go to the bank and you're like, hey, I'd like to withdraw X amount of money. And they're like, no. And you're like, no. What the fuck do you mean, no? Right? It's my money.
It's
Give me
my money,
And
isn't
they're
it?
like, about that, it's not actually your money. It's a debt. It's on our books. It works like this. And you're like, wait. No, just give me my money. And they don't. Or you try to make a transaction and they just say, you can't do that. It's like, what do you mean I can't do that? Right? So once people start running into these walls, they're going to be ripe for realizing that maybe they aren't so happy with this thing that they thought was working very well. And then that's going to get worse and worse as the system kind of falls apart at the seams with inflation. Yeah.
Which is happening right now. And we can see these kind of stories going around in the normal media, not always the mainstream media, but they do actually leak into the mainstream media, big newspapers, etc. So people are getting more aware of the problem.
I want to bring somebody up on stage. Let me try to invite him. So I've invited Max to come speak because he's another case of an entrepreneur who's using Bitcoin Cash, and not only using it, but Max received investment, borderless investment, right? So a number of people invested in his farm and his local farm and sustainability project that he does. And then he also operated a flip starter where he made some promises to the ecosystem and said, you know, I'll do these things and these are the benefits you'll get. And he received money for doing that as part of his farm and sustainability project. So yeah, he's used BCH in the form of just investment, basically. So borderless, permissionless investment. If you wanted to tell your bank that, hey, there's this guy, he's actually trustworthy, he's a good guy, he lives in Nigeria, and I'd like to invest and I'd like to transfer money, high chance they're just going to tell you no. They won't. They wouldn't let you. Coming from the United States, at least. I don't know about other countries. So yeah, he's taken advantage of that. BCH is useful for borderless, permissionless investment there. And I think he's also trying to use it in the business, but I think his primary effort is just executing his business, which is some BCH, but also local fiat.
I don't think anyone can understand as well how much that breaks down the walls of the world. You know, I can't remember the statistics. I did a lot of research back a year ago or a year and a half about how many people are actually bankless. And it is the majority of the world, or it's just some absurd number. In Africa and a lot of African countries, there are just so many people that just cannot get access to a bank. It's impossible, even if they wanted it. And so just, you know, just opening up an account, just saving account, you know, just those basic things is already a huge accomplishment that this is available now, because they do have access to smartphones and they have access to internet. So it's kind of crazy. And yeah, as John said now, I mean, the fact that these small businesses, small farms in this case, have access to investment from anywhere in the world instantly, and without any arbitrator. It's just peer to peer. It's insane. I mean, that is that is going to be such a social revolution for the majority of adults in the world. It's crazy when you think about the potential here. Are you there, Max?
Max may not be on a phone, is my guess,
Oh,
which is still the only way to use these spaces.
I think he'll get it to
okay.
work. I'll talk to him on chat.
Yeah. For anyone that wants to speak but doesn't know how, you need to be on a phone. Using Twitter on your computer, it's just not good enough, I'm afraid. You know, Twitter's a very complicated software, and it requires just the best phone, and nothing else will do. Literally the best phone, and it has to be an iPhone as well. So
I was gonna say about Max. So yeah, as you said, it's a big deal. And then there's a lot of people who who are unbanked. They don't have bank accounts, and they're poised to leapfrog, just like people did with smartphones and laptops. A lot of people leapfrog the whole big bulky computer generation and just said, "Oh, fuck that, we're all on mobile." They went straight to mobile. Similar thing with legacy finance. Once the banks don't like you, and then crypto offers you all the options that you need for saving, for investing, for starting a business, for doing whatever it is you need to do, and you don't need to worry about whatever legacy middleman telling you can and can't do. You can go get investment from all over the world if you want to. So people are ready to leapfrog the financial system, the legacy financial system, and just say, "I forget that. We don't need it." And a lot of people in rich world don't realize what a barrier there is to entering the legacy finance system. They already have 15 different accounts, passwords, usernames, whatever. Things are already set up. They've done KYC over the years. The barrier is actually huge to get into legacy finance. It's huge. It's just that once you're already in it, it's comfortable. But you take a whole generation of people who have a choice between, okay, I open up an app and I can do everything I want to do, versus, okay, I need to go beg a bank to open an account. I need to go beg an insurance company to open an account and so forth. Eventually, all those companies and banks and service providers will just, they themselves will migrate over to crypto.
This is the story that we've heard from St. Kitts and that area, because essentially there are so many people that they can legally get a bank account, but it's so much pain, and sending some money abroad means standing in line for hours and all that kind of stuff, that it really makes a lot of sense for these people to just say, you know what, we'll just try something different. And like you said, Africa is a really good example, because we're still talking about the amount of people being banked is maybe 1.5 billion. And that means there's 4 billion people that do not have banking.
Yeah.
That's the majority of the world.
Yeah.
And that means that when we make this stuff accessible, and not everybody will have a smartphone, not everybody will have the latest tech, but they will be able to still get Bitcoin Cash. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be good enough. And then suddenly you see that the majority of the people will be able to talk to each other and transact with each other. And that's so extremely powerful.
It is. Let's see if Max can, I don't know, let's give him a chance, see if he can try speaking again.
Hello, can you hear me out?
Can hear you.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
good evening, everyone. I am Max from Nigeria. I'm having some network issues here, but I think let's give it a try. We are building something that is quite unusual, because you see that people want to try new things always. People don't like to stay with old ways of doing things. And Bitcoin Cash has given us that platform to try and to thrive. So we started with trying to speed the adoption through workshops, telling people about Bitcoin Cash and how borderless it is, how people can easily transfer money from other parts of the world and use it in their businesses. Yeah, it became very hard to convince people to see the benefit, and I decided to work as with some other entrepreneurs, and I had a successful flip starter that helped me to start up building on Bitcoin Cash. The idea was to give people that enabling environment to use Bitcoin Cash, to see it working. We started by building a farm where we can produce the basic need, which is food here in Africa. Food security, water, and mini markets, farmers markets where they can come in and buy with fiat currency and with Bitcoin Cash. And it worked for us because we had a very nice experience. The last time that Nigeria had issues with the banks, with financial system, some of us couldn't, withdraw cash from the bank. It happens that people that has Bitcoin Cash wallet, people that have been working with me that has some Bitcoin Cash in their wallet, they are only people that could buy from Bitcoin Cash store here, where we have food stuff, where we have some other things that they need, food, they buy with Bitcoin Cash, and they were happy to see that they have something to fall on, even when the fiat system, the service is not up there. So this is the kind of changes and the kind of new things that we want to have, which Bitcoin Cash is enabling. And some of them that have tried Bitcoin could not manage because of the high fee. Because average people that use this coin here, I don't think they will have that kind of money to be, paying with Bitcoin. But with Bitcoin Cash, the fee is very low. It means that any person can easily use it. So that is what we are doing here, and our farm is successful. We finished some sections, and we've brought in animals. We've brought in fishes, and the next step that we are going to take will be to have a website where we can, let people know about what we are doing to cover the state, to cover our state, the city, so that people can easily order for goods, for food online, and pay with Bitcoin Cash. And some of them will also pay with fiat, but we're going to make it in a way that, people buying with Bitcoin Cash will have discounted price. This is all what we have in line, but we are coming one after another. And I want to say very big thanks to Bitcoin Cash community for their love, for their support. This is first in history that people in rural area, in developing countries, could have access to people in another side of the world, across oceans. It's something that is innovative and very encouraging. Let me just stop here for other people to come in.
Yeah,
Thank you very
Max,
much.
thank you so much for speaking. It's great hearing you and the success you're having with your project. I've been watching this. It's been interesting to me, mostly because of Emergent. I know he's very proud of your work. I'd love to know a little bit. So you said you would like to work on a website so that you can offer your services there for the products and whatever. How many people how many people have access to internet in your village or where you live? Is it something that everyone has access to, and how do they have access? Is it with a computer or a phone, or how does that look?
Oh, yeah, people in my local community, most of them doesn't have access to the internet. That is more reason why I want to have a website. I would like to have a website whereby I'll be able to cover um, very much range. Covering a community is different from covering a state. If I can be able to cover my state or some other neighboring states, that'd be fantastic. And we'll be able to, deliver our goods, you know, from, using courier services and other logistics services. We're going to start it small, to cover the areas that will be able to, deliver our goods and services. So that's why we need the website. But for the community that are living around me, those ones doesn't have any problem. The only problem they have is internet and light. Of course, we have provided them with solar energy powered by Bitcoin Cash also, so they can easily charge their phones. And I also have free internet service for them in my community. So for those people coming to buy from our mini mart, they can access our internet and connect through Wi-Fi connection and do their transfer, and pay, assuming they want to pay with Bitcoin Cash. But the reason for the website is to, to extend our hand of relation to other cities around us, so that they will see what we are doing and will be able to utilize Bitcoin Cash better on the website.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for your question. So if I could just jump in with one other quick question, it's just to sort of pick up on what Tom said. When people are paying with your if they're paying with Bitcoin Cash, then they'll need a phone that you said they can access your Wi-Fi free. Does the average person in your town or the vicinity, like where you live, do they have access then to a smartphone that can install a wallet that supports Bitcoin Cash?
Okay. For example, we have some people that are working with us already. The people that I have employed to work with me inside the farm and in the mini mart and in our storeroom, Bitcoin Cash house that we built. That is where we display our products. So those people, I try as much as possible to help some of them to have access to smartphones. Like not too long, the day before yesterday, I paid one of my workers with Bitcoin Cash, and seeing that the price increased within these few days, it was like jubilating. That's the kind of
great.
news they like to hear.
Great day.
So not a lot of them that has access to smartphone, but that is what we are working on. If I have much with me, I will do more to extend, to the people that are serious, especially the entrepreneurs, those people that have that entrepreneurial spirit to work with me. I will start with them, make sure that they have smartphones, and from there we can easily have a kind of hotspot where a general computer, where people can use if they want, so that is what we are working at. I think I've answered your question. It's not all of them that have smartphone, but majority of them, especially the youths, have smartphones.
Thank you so much. That was great.
Hey, Max, I wanted to ask you a question to help everybody here understand kind of the scale of what you're working on. Could you say the kind of size of the farm, the area, and then also, the kind of numbers on the number of plants you have and the animals and so forth that are planned for everything?
Thank you very much. That's a beautiful question. Our farm is huge to the capacity that we're able to hold it for now. We have a farm that is up to a hectare of land. That is 20 plots, approximately 20 plots. 20 plot is measured 60 by 100, I think, square meter, if I'm right. That is, we have 20 plots of land. That is a hectare of land, and a hectare and a half is what we have covered. And inside our farm, we have different sections. We have a piggery section that had the capacity to hold up to 100 or 150 pigs. And we have a fish pond section, fishery section, where we have fishes. Although we are about to launch our fish by next week or 2 weeks, thereabout, we have pond that can host up to 15,000 fishes simultaneously. Then we have a poultry section. Our poultry section can host up to 3,000 birds at a spot. And we also have this snail. Snail is a proteinous food that is going very well in our market in West Africa here, and is a very good export trade also. Our snail section can host up to 6,000 snails at the same time. And we also have coconut farm where we plant coconut. We have in mind to expand it so that in the near future we'll be able to produce coconut oil, that vegetable oil from coconut. But for now, we have around 1,000 palm, coconut trees, 1,000 or thereabout, maybe 1,002 or thereabout. And we have pawpaw, we have papaya, is a fruit. We have up to 1,200 in our farm right now, and they have started producing. We also have pineapple orchard and some other vegetables, and we have sustainable water, that we are giving to farmers. We are giving them free, and we are also using the water for irrigation in the farm. It is something nice. It's something huge, and we have so much plans. Like Bitcoin Cash community, like people like you guys listening to me, your names will soon, be. We have tags. We are going to tag some of those trees and animals with the name of our friends, to make it catchy and to make it fun. This is the plans that we have to execute from time to time.
Okay, thank you, Max. Yeah, I wanted people to get a sense for the scale of what you're working on and what Bitcoin Cash ecosystem has enabled there. And so glad that we got the chance to work together. We originally met Max, the Bitcoin Cash ecosystem originally met Max on, I think, read.cash, right? On the website, read.cash.
Yes. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Max. I really appreciate it.
Welcome.
Yep. Drawing entrepreneurs into Bitcoin Cash, helping them out, making things work for them. And then the network becomes more useful to everybody else.
And another area that I want to talk is on people that are unbanked. I don't know. You hear me? Are you hearing me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. In our area, we have up to 50% of people that are unbanked. They are finding it very, very difficult to transact, to buy food, to buy the things they need for their daily life. So, and it's very difficult for some of them. Some of them are not learned, and they are finding it very difficult. But they are now relying on innovations like Bitcoin Cash that will allow them to transact, to buy and sell with their phone, even without going to the bank, and they will be custodians of their wallet and their money. So these are the things that are very interesting about Bitcoin Cash in our community. So people have alternative to financial inclusion. Thank you.
What kind of issues are you facing locally with Naira, with the Nigerian Naira and the local banks? Like, is everything working smoothly? Are you facing some issues there?
Oh, well, there are some of little issues here and there. You cannot pin them down because the situations keep on changing, you know. But I think that the challenging that people are having is, sometimes access to their money. You know, the banking system can wake up and decide to give you limit on what you can do with your money in the bank. But unlike Bitcoin Cash, the innovative is very innovative that people can, have access to their funds and make use of it the way and manner they wish to. So the challenges we are having is the policies that are coming up here and there, which the masses, especially the low class citizens, may not have much to do, or may not have alternatives. So that's the challenges we're having.
Okay, thank you. I hope it does work well as an alternative for some people. I was going to talk about another entrepreneur that I'm aware of. He's not available to come on right now, but why did the price go up? I don't know. There's no knowing that. But what I love is all the entrepreneurs who are coming on, in infrastructure people who are just building the thing that they think is important, or building the product that they think is important, building the service that they think is important, making money on it or not, but using it. And there's another one. His name is Sakib. He's a surgeon. He's a orthopedic surgeon, and he has worked all over the world in different countries, in a lot of different volunteer places and emergency locations, as well as in the UK. But most recently, he's helping to operate a volunteer hospital in Cambodia. It's csc.org. And he also does web development. He's like a real entrepreneur. He's the realest entrepreneur. He does everything. So he's also made the website for the hospital. And you can go there and you do donate, and you can do fiat donations, but you can also donate in Bitcoin Cash. And of course, it's less fees for them and more availability, and it's simpler for them. So you can donate directly in Bitcoin Cash there. And another thing he has done is there's a medical journal that he has started, including the medical research. Sorry, not the research, the review board. So it has a review board and everything. It's not just a place to post medical research, it's an actual journal. And that journal has a policy that's different. Anybody who knows research knows it's terrible. You make research and then it ends up behind a paywall and nobody has access to it, except for some very tiny percentage selection of the world who work for institutions and that kind of thing. So, but the way this medical journal works is it has a paywall on each article, which is very reasonable, like say $100 or $50 or something like that. And everybody who wants to see it can just pay whatever they want in Bitcoin Cash. So you just pay like 10 cents, 30 cents, whatever it is you pay, it doesn't matter. You pay for it and you get access to it by paying for it. And once the paywall is paid down, if it was $50 and the paywall gets down to $0, then it's open access. Everybody has access after that. So this is, I think, a much, much better model for how to do access to scientific data. And he's leading the way with that with Bitcoin Cash, and doing things like 10-cent donations or 1-cent donations in order to get access. That's definitely not possible with legacy finance. But with Bitcoin Cash, you can just make like a 1-cent payment and you get access to the research. So yeah, everybody doing their own thing, finding their own way, making use of permissionless money. And in my heart, that's why the price has gone up.
What I really like about the One.Surgery guys, which is what you just talked about, is that I learned so much about how crooked the old way of doing publishing is. In scientific publishing is always includes some proofreading by a peer review. And what you think from the fact that you have to pay, you know, €1,000 a year for access to such journals, is that it's very expensive to do this peer review. But when we talked to him, we realized that actually the people doing the peer reviewing are not actually being paid, because that would leave a biased report. So what actually are you paying for? And nobody actually knows. It's just the bottom line of these journals. So this journal that basically figures out how this system actually is supposed to work, removes all the profiteering costs, and then leaves the actual costs to be paid by visitors, like you said, you know, a paywall, actually is really powerful, because it just makes it competitive, not just for people wanting to read it, but also people wanting to publish there. And it's really interesting. I personally think I haven't seen how much uptake there is, and that's probably really difficult, because we're talking about competitors, these big journals that have a huge advertising, of course. But I really think that this is one of those things that is just set out to improve the world in ways that we can't even imagine right now.
Yeah. And one of the things you can bet on when you find a really, really powerful person is that they're going to be successful to some degree. And Saqib is one of those very powerful people. He's got a huge brain on him. He can do everything. He does everything. He works nonstop. He's going to make that thing happen. But he's also doing 10 other things. So that's his weakness, is that all that power is divided among 10 different 10 different projects. But it'll happen. Yeah. No, I'm confident that it's going to happen.
Cool.
And while we were talking, we've done a good job. So congratulations, everyone. The price went up another $10 while we were talking. So
Yep.
Mission accomplished.
Wow.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part. All right. Does anybody want to take over? I'm probably going to have to jump off here. The price. I just can't take all this price.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to bounce too. Actually, I've got talked to the BCH Argentina guys in about an hour, so in Spanish. So if anybody, I don't know where they're streaming it, but keep an eye out, and I'll tweet it if anybody wants to hear me hablo en español.
Oh yeah. All right. Then
I'm gonna jump off.
Take care, guys. Cheap Lightning, were you gonna take over, or should we just shut it down?
Shut her down.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate all you guys listening. Feel free to come up sometime and talk. Let's build more business, build more projects, make more money.
Number go up. Oh,
And-
sorry,
and
that
then-
wasn't.
and then
Okay. Oh yes.
All right.
And have a good
Peace,
evening, everybody.
everyone.